the greatest radio show that no one has ever heard of. Coming to you direct from 816 South Broadway in downtown Los Angeles. Brought to you by 3 drunk idiots and a guy who can't walk. You are now listening to Superior Fandom! All right, what's up, everybody? I got an ass full of beer as we speak. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Nate and Joe Show from SuperiorFandom.com. We have a great show planned for tonight. I'm Nate. Joining us, my partner, Joe Holt.
What's up, guys? We didn't plan shit.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of wing it tonight. But I mean, we know what we're gonna touch on. We got a good show planned for you tonight. We got some a little bit of NBA to talk about because the Spurs are on a run that is just kind of ridiculous right now. They're going for 20 tonight. Probably I think they might be playing as we speak. Before that, we obviously need to talk baseball because all 4 of us sitting here at Superior Fandom, the 2 of us and our lovely team of misfits and Jarrett Young and Mr. Mike Gonger.
How's it going?
We all are giant baseball fans.
I see what you did right there.
Giant baseball fans. And it's we got to get after it. We're also going to touch on. Don't worry, we're also going to touch on some March Madness because
Gator bait.
I got some huge game coming up. Gator Nation, you're listening. God damn it! I doubt it, but I hope you are. Maybe you are. We'll see.
The Gators have a nation?
Dude, are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Anywho.
What are you doing?
Right now, we're gonna jump into baseball.
Sam Fold.
Sam Fold.
That's obligatory.
Well, see, we're not going to talk about Sam Fold because we actually talked about almost only counts on horseshoes and fucking hand grenades. And you're really going to tell me he almost had... I almost won a scratcher the other day, but unfortunately the last one that I scratched off wasn't the right number that I was looking for, so I didn't win. I almost won, though.
Good for you, bro.
Keep playing.
That's what the Dodgers are going to do.
Almost got an inside the park.
That's what the Dodgers are going to do in the NL West. They're almost going to win.
We're going to talk about some injuries right now because
injuries.
In baseball, there's just some injuries are running rampant throughout the league right now. It's kind of ridiculous. The Dodgers injury list is absurd, same as it was last year. It's kind of gross. So I mean, I don't know. It seems like pitchers are dropping Dodgers at a healthy rate. It's kind of upsetting. Kershaw just went down, the Dodgers ace. Although I'm not worried about Kershaw, I think he could be pitching right now. It's more precautionary with Kersh. But Brian Wilson, who I was at the game in San Diego for opening day, saw him with my own 2 eyes just drop a bomb and not be able to record an out, give up a mammoth home run to Seth Smith, and then completely shit the bed and blow the game. And now he's on the disabled list.
Mike and I saw him in spring training.
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
In Glendale. And his elbow just kind of dropped on a pitch.
Well, you texted me. You asked me what happened to him.
And Don Mattingly, came out, and they pulled him from the game, and I think he pitched 2 or 3 days later, but
he was throwing knuckleballs.
It just didn't look right. And then to see Willie come out in that game versus the Padres, he was throwing 4 or 5 miles an hour slower than he normally did. And I've watched Brian Wilson pitch a lot over the years for the Giants, and he can go out every day. He's a real durable guy. But the one thing that I've noticed with him is when his velocity goes, that means something's wrong. And when in spring he's trying to
learn the knuckleball because he thinks that he has to
Is
Well,
he
who knows
seri-
what he's thinking?
Is he seriously trying to learn a knuckleball, or are you
Well,
just
he
being a goof
he
right
threw
now?
it in spring and actually recorded 3 outs with it, and it was actually nasty. It was ridiculous.
Weird.
It was
thought you were
ridiculous.
screwing
Yeah.
around.
No, he threw 3 knuckleballs and got and recorded an out with it.
Well,
so.
well, I mean, beyond just Wilson, I mean, the Tommy John thing is just rampant right now, and it makes me wonder, like, what's going on with these pitches and what's causing this? Because the Diamondbacks have 4 guys on the DL that are all going through Tommy John. The A's lost Jared Parker and AJ Griffin for the year. And it's all elbow injuries, and I just wonder what's going on.
I agree with you. I mean, whether it's an overworkage or whether it's a regimen of steroids that guys are coming off of, or I mean,
Mike,
it's
do you
like,
think it's like a pitch count thing?
I was wondering if it was a pitch count thing, but with the depth of the A's bullpen, we only average about 5 1/3 or 6 innings for our starters. So you really can't say it's a pitch count thing. I've been kind of scratching my head about it all throughout the springtime, and even within the last week of real baseball being back. And I wish I had an answer for you, but there's nothing that I can really point to. With only one of our starters last year actually going over 200 innings, where do you point the finger?
For those of you who are listening new, Mr. Gonger is a diehard A's fan. So
Sam Fold.
You got it, kids.
there you go.
I'm just gonna keep doing
Yeah,
that.
no, I wish there was something legitimate that you could say this, that, or this is obviously it, but it's something scary to go around baseball to see all these guys just dropping like flies.
Yes, they're going down hard. It's rough. I mean, it's who knows? Maybe this is going to be the Astros' year because
you never know.
Their disabled list is real short, and actually, the Astros have a ridiculous farm. But they've got some prospects that are monsters right now that I'm amazed that aren't up right now. So it's.
So you call an Astros?
I'm calling Astros wild card in the American League.
Well, the
Bravos drop
Angels
into the mental slide.
after the Angels got beat like
Bills.
30-5 by the Mariners this last 3 days, like.
Well, you've been hating on the Mariners. The Mariners,
don't
Gonger
hate
and
the
I told
Mariners.
you in offseason that the Mariners were going to be a relevant team.
No, and that's fine. I'm not hating on the Mariners, and actually, I was the one that said I was
Tonight you
not
sound like you
impressed
love
by
the
the
Mariners.
Angels. Actually,
Yeah.
well, I will say this: I'm driving the bus on the Brad Miller fan wagon. I picked him up in like the 30th round on my fantasy team because Justin Young stole Johnny Peralta, and so I got stuck with Brad Miller, and the guy's hitting like 400 with a bomb and like 4 RBIs for the first 3 days. So fuck yeah, bro.
Well, as far as the Dodgers disabled list, I mean, we've got. I'm looking at it here. Matt Kemp has already announced that he's 100% and said that he should be good to go on the 5th. We'll see if that's how accurate that is. That would put him active on Saturday. I don't know. No one's announced anything. Donnie hasn't said anything. After that, you get on the list. Kershaw just went on. Wilson, who knows what's going to happen with that dude? I drafted Brian Wilson in our fantasy draft. I have recently dropped him. So anybody in our league, if you want Brian Wilson, you can scoop him up for nothing.
Aside from the Dodgers, Hugh Darvish is also down. Like,
Yeah,
he
but
had
he's
to
pitching
push-
Sunday.
Yeah.
Darvish is
No, he'll
he's
be
fine.
okay. Like, hopefully, but I mean, that was a serious injury,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of other injuries that are just kind of like floating around. Manny Machado had a severe injury. He's yet to play a game.
Yeah.
I think he's half a month away. That Mariners team that you guys were pretty high on has a couple pitching prospects they're ready to make their debut. They got pushed back to the end of the month, and maybe later with what's his name, Tyrone Walker, and the other guy, the Fukuhara guy, or whatever that Japanese guy is they have. And like Jared, I was just wondering, man, like with all these injuries, like what What do you think? I mean, I know there's a lot more, and I just kind of want to get your take on it.
I think it might be pretty par for the course. According to a study conducted in 2010, these scientists found that the most injuries seem to occur in April, and the least number of injuries seem to occur in September.
Interesting. All right.
Stretch it out, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like,
No
I mean,
shit.
we were down there and we did see Reddick and some of the Oakland boys kind of dogging it. I wonder if
I always kind of wonder about that too. You figure these guys have had 3 or 4 months off. They're not really approaching spring training like it's the biggest deal in the world. There's nothing for them to lose or really gain, especially if you're guaranteed on the 25 man. So when these guys are coming out, I don't think it's so far off to say they're going to get injured in April or May. Muscles still tight. You haven't even hit the dog days of summer yet. By the time that July, August rolls around, these guys are finally in their prime. You can make arguments for guys that have a steady, off-season approach. And really take care of themselves. But these are baseball players. They're not, I don't want to say NFL players just because we've gone over on the show their own problems.
How
in the
disastrous the
offseason.
NFL is, yeah.
But as far as strength and conditioning, baseball players they've been known to not really take care of themselves in the offseason and show up 25,
Because they like
30 pounds
to
overweight.
rely on their God-given talent.
Exactly. And, not
So-
to say it's wrong for them, but that's always kind of been the mindset of baseball players of I'm going to eat, I'm going to drink, and I'm going to, just get down the
I'm
offseason.
going to party,
I'm
motherfucker.
gonna
I just got a $210 million contract.
and right around
I'm going to
mid-March,
party.
you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, I want to say this. I want to bring this up. I'm going to talk about this score in a second, but I want to bring this up. Aroldis Chapman's horrifying injury that happened 2.5 weeks ago brings back up. He almost died in that injury. And if you saw a replay of that,
that shit was scary.
It was terrifying,
Horrific, man.
That was
every
so
time
scary.
when you see comebackers hit the pitcher in the head, generally it deflects off really far. It hits it, and it's almost like hitting a brick wall. It goes really far. Sometimes it lands in the stands, which is terrifying in itself. This ball hit him so solid, it died and rolled off the mound.
Yo,
I mean,
that brings me to the one last year that was like that. Remember when Jay Happ from the Blue Jays got like skulled up? That was terrible.
It's fucking awful. And that brings back up the point, and it's been a discussion in baseball for the last, I think, year and a half. Do the catchers wear protective headgear? I'm sorry. I apologize. Do the pitchers wear protective headgear? Some of them say they would. Some of them say it thinks it would hinder their game. I guarantee you, if baseball made it mandatory, every pitcher would adjust to it.
Yeah,
every
they'd
pitcher
figure
would
it out.
get used to
Weren't
it.
they,
Work it out.
Weren't
Stretch
they
it
trying
out.
to do that? Weren't they trying to do that bigger hat like the?
They're doing a bigger padded hat about 2 years ago, and they
For the
finally came up
pitchers?
for the pitchers. I know this specifically too for the Diamondbacks' current pitcher, our old pitcher Brandon McCarthy.
Oh yeah, McCarthy.
Because
Absolutely.
McCarthy got numbed one time, took a drop, was out for the end of the season. That's when he was our
Yeah.
But I read a report about a month ago, right at the middle of spring, where he was trying on a new padded hat that was supposedly a little bit more comfortable, but still didn't have the right fit. So he was going to go to the original hat first. So they're trying to work something out. But I don't think a full design's been.
All right. Yeah.
Was that during the
corroborated.
campaign to make pitchers into real life bobbleheads?
Hey.
Shout out!
Hey, zing!
Shout out Brandon McCarthy, by the way. On a happier note, like if you guys get on Twitter, Brandon McCarthy is a great follow. He's fucking hilarious. For one, for two, he had the opening day start. Well, the American opening day start for the D-backs yesterday, or a couple days ago, and I think he went 6 2/3, perhaps. He's I don't know. I root for that guy. I root for that guy
On Twitter, wait, is
And
it?
he's got a super foxy wife, too.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
also
Yeah.
on Twitter. That's
Funny you
banging.
should say
At B.
an
McCarthy
athlete on Twitter, because we were discussing this earlier, that athletes should not be on social media. First and foremost, I've seen what you did on TV.
Maybe you should have to pass a test.
I've seen what you did on TV. I don't give a shit what you have to say about it.
Not a shit.
I really don't. I really don't. Like I can make my own opinion of what happened. I don't care what you think or what you want me to think I saw. Ban these dipshits from getting on social media, and they will all have better careers. I guarantee it. I guarantee 100% guarantee it. It's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, like Deshaun Jackson, there's nothing good that is going to come out of you hanging on Twitter, G.
Yeah, there's nothing good that's going to come of you tweeting a post of you with your gangbanger friends throwing gang signs. Like, how does that benefit you in any way? Even if they're your friends. I don't give a shit if they're your friends. But how does that benefit you?
Quite frankly, I'm just waiting for Marshawn Lynch to show up right there next to him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, find me for this.
Andy the Skittle. Hey!
Didn't Logan Morrison get sent to the minors last year for like talking shit on Twitter too? Like, don't let Twitter fuck up your checks, man.
Constantly.
Like, come on.
I'm telling you right now, Deshaun Jackson got released from the Eagles, and he just gave them a reason to release him. He and Chip Kelly didn't see eye to eye. For whatever reason, he had a career year. They wanted to trade him. No one bit because they thought something might be going on. How do you trade a guy that literally had a career year, 80-plus touchdown? No, 80-plus catches. Sorry, with over 1,100 yards. Amazing year.
He was like their number one target. When Mike Vick was the quarterback for the Eagles before Nick Foles had his resurgence.
But even Nick Foles got there and used him.
Well,
Deshaun Jackson
but him and Riley Cooper linked up. Like, Nick Foles and Riley Cooper turned into homies.
Hey, what are you saying? It's white on white, black on black? What's going on
Well,
here?
if you ask Riley Cooper, that's what he
That's
thinks.
apparently exactly what it is.
He went to Florida. That's a first-class education.
I'm telling
there,
you.
bro.
Florida, we love them no matter what they are.
Jarrett, what do you got, man?
I was just thinking about that baseball injury thing. And
As far as what?
well, apparently when this study came out in 2010, they studied the 2002 through 2008 seasons, and they found a significant 37% increase in injuries between 2005 and 2008. The last half of that study.
Wow. All right.
So I don't know. I'm just like wondering why that increase.
Joe, what do you use your words?
I didn't think the beer was open. Sorry. Use your words.
Why use my eyes when I can just go with my gut?
Yeah, right?
Beer.
Sorry, Jared. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm a drunk idiot. What were you saying? I didn't mean to. What were you saying?
During
Say
the
it again,
study,
Jared.
it was a 6-year study. Basically, in the last 3 years, they found a significant 37% increase in injuries during the last 3 years of that 6-year study. And of that 37%, 34% were from pitchers.
Okay. Holy shit.
How much of that do you think can be attributed to the steroid era and
think a bit of it.
or the end of the steroid era?
The end of the steroid era. I think that could actually you could contribute a lot to that. The new.
I'm sorry, I scratched that. 62% of those injuries were experienced by pitchers.
Oh shit! Okay,
Jesus,
that's
that
even
changes,
it changes shit a lot.
Compared with fielders.
But I mean, especially this year, the new rule that just went into place: 80 games for the first offense, an entire season essentially for the second. 160. I think it's 162 games. I think it's an entire season.
Yeah.
For second-time offenders, and it's only going to go up from there. If they actually get dudes that are still busters that are still juicing, I guarantee you it's going to be eventually next season, especially with the guys who are in charge of Major League Baseball at this point. It's going to be one and done. I have a feeling it's if this doesn't deter guys from juicing, I have a feeling that within the next 3-4 years it'll be a one deal. and you're out.
At this point, I think that sounds a little extreme, but I don't think you're so far off.
I mean, they changed it to. Yeah. I mean, 2 times you miss a season. One time you miss half a season. I mean,
I just like the fact that you can get kicked out of Major League Baseball entirely now. Third
well,
you're that's
you're done.
You know, I think that's kind of what needed to be done a few years back, but it's good to see though. When I say it's good to see his name.
Mike Gonger's very happy right now.
I don't give a shit about steroids.
His Oakland A's have just
I'm gonna
rallied a little bit.
I'm gonna
Breaking
get a
news! Breaking news!
Tattoo tomorrow.
Jonas.
You kidding me? Whoa! I might get an Ozzy Canseco tattoo.
Oh, God.
Breaking news. Jonas Cespedes hits a triple, and the O.co is going batshit.
The O.co.
The shit is starting to flood in the clubhouse as we speak.
Quite literally, yeah.
I have to say this, guys.
More breaking news.
The San Antonio Spurs run is done.
Who beat him?
They lost at Oklahoma City by 12, 94-106. OKC, and to me, I think that might have been Popovich, who I think gives the best interview in sports. Period. He makes me laugh every time I see him. It's awesome. It's awesome. No matter who your love is
That's
for.
True.
No matter who your love is for, I love watching that man get interviewed. That being said, I think he felt like there was too much attention being brought to the Spurs on this win streak. He's like, this sucks. We need to lose. So they went into Oklahoma City and took a shit.
Didn't he sit like Parker and Manu tonight, too?
Probably. That would be.
When they play the best teams, the Spurs tend to sit their best players. It's kind of a thing.
What's most amazing about this run that they've been on, this 19-game win streak, their starting 5 averaged 20 minutes a game. 20 minutes a game. Not 35, not 37. 20 minutes a game. That's impressive.
And that brings me to this. The Spurs are obviously a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And the Clippers and the Thunder are obviously the challengers within that Western Conference. And you can make an argument for a couple other teams too, sure. What I want to point out is this. Beyond Durant and Westbrook and, Cephalosha and those guys, I don't think the Thunder really have the depth past, their first 5 guys. And with the Clippers, we just found out today that Granger and Crawford are out.
For the remainder. Apparently they're coming back for the playoffs, but they are out for the remainder.
Redick's hit or miss. They had to send Big Baby on a timeout the other night in Houston. Blake Griffin, who's
everything about that is so hilarious.
Hold on a second. You guys saw that, right?
Big Baby T.O.
Incredible.
Go to your room, you sloppy bastard.
And nobody really talked about it, and it wasn't a big deal. But they were just I didn't think he needed to be on the bench right now. So I sent him to the locker room. And I was like, you know what, word? I guess that's how you got to handle that.
I don't know.
Meanwhile, the Spurs are winning, 18, 19, 25 in a row, and Big Baby's going on timeout.
I don't know. This, and who just snuck into the 8th spot in the East?
The New York Phil Jackson.
The New York Phil Jacksons, exactly.
Philly Jack.
Seriously, it's incredible, Phil Jackson's got that team running like a well-oiled machine, for God's sakes, all of a sudden.
Dude, with as shitty as the Heat and the Pacers have been,
Jesus, maybe the Knicks are going to make a run.
Maybe the smart money's on Philly Jack, man.
There you go, Chris Schindler.
Smart money's on Philly Jack.
Philly Jack is going to take you guys to the promised land. It's gonna be good.
He's got to beat Jason Kidd, though. Aren't they on like a 13-game home winning streak?
Well,
or something?
for a hot minute, actually for more than a hot minute, the Nets were the best team in basketball after the All-Star break. I think for about a month and a half, the Nets were almost unbeatable.
26-11.
They went on a crazy tear.
That sounds crazy to say for the season.
Yeah, right. And that that pretty much solidified the fact that they're in the playoffs. And in fact, it did.
Who is that Russian guy that owns them? Shouldn't
Other
they
than
be
Houston.
busy like invading the Ukraine or something? Or is
Well,
that too soon to
Chechnya.
talk about?
I don't know what are you talking. Putin Jr.
No, Putin doesn't own the damn Nets. Come on.
No, but his homie
His
does.
name is
Does he, man? You sure? Does he not? Putin owns the Nets, man.
telling you, it's Vladdy Putin.
Putin, man.
Vladdy Putin.
Dude, we're
Look up. Do me a favor, Jarrett. What's his damn name?
Wait, who are we
the
talking
guy
about?
that owns the Nets.
Just put
Nets owner.
Brooklyn Nets owner.
I thought I had his name, but it was just going to be racist.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be. It was
Come
gonna
on,
be, it was gonna-
Ganger.
It was going to be
Russian
racially. It was going to be
Mikhail
insensitive.
Prokhorev.
Prokhorov.
Prokhorov. Okay, I was going to say
Yeah.
Prokofiev. I was close.
Prokofiev.
I was like, this is it.
Prokofiev is
That's
brilliant.
clearly
No,
just
that's
a pronunciation error. Don't
Prokofiev.
worry.
I thought that was going to be
Sergei
insensitive.
Prokofiev is an awesome fucking composer from the
What?
late 19th century.
Wow.
Russian.
Wow.
Look at
dude,
Jared
you're
Young
way
pulling
too
out some
smart
knowledge.
for that.
Intelligent tip.
Yeah.
But no, Prokhorov.
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 Hey, I'm a Southern boy.
Prokhorov.
That motherfucker's Prokhorov.
That's Mikhail Prokhorov.
Old Mikey Prokhorov.
Oh, Mike Prokhorov.
Mike P.
Who names their kid Prokhorov,
Nick P.
anyways? Shit. Okay. Anyway,
So he
anyway.
said
Sorry,
Monday he's
I'm just
transferring
used to-
ownership of the Nets.
Oh, we're golden.
to
We're golden.
His home country.
He said he did what?
He said on Monday, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, Russian billionaire Mikhail Prokhorov, said Monday he is transferring ownership of the basketball franchise to his home country amid the possibility of economic sanctions over Russia's annexation of Crimea.
Oh, hell.
Dude,
There you go.
now the Brooklyn Nets are communist. Awesome.
It's the Russian Nets.
Putin does own the Nets, man. Putin does own the Nets. Told you, man. You gotta look beneath the surface.
Wow.
You gotta stop reading those facts, man.
Wow.
This is beautiful.
Dude, we're all going to die, dude.
Yeah, right?
Russia's going to come get us.
Even Russia doesn't listen to this show.
Russianese.
Maybe Russia does listen to this show.
Hey, what are you drinking about beer for?
Fuck it, I'm claiming
I love your
Russianese.
beer.
man.
We need to be really
that's
kind
mine,
in the World
son.
Cup segment.
That's mine, son.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. We're on to one tonight. Tell you what,
Of course, it's a gradual transition.
I am going to talk about some Florida Gators basketball right now. You know what's happening? Do you know what's happening
Thank God.
in the Final Four right
Hand me a
now?
beer, please.
Do you guys realize what's happening in the Final Four right now? Do you, Jared?
Right
do you
now,
realize?
there's probably
Joe, do you realize?
Right now,
Mike,
they're
do you
probably
realize?
setting up. They're probably
you gotta
setting
play.
up.
I've got an
You gotta
idea.
play Connecticut.
We got UConn and potentially a rematch with Wisconsin. And if we don't play Wisconsin, we got our ultimate fucking rival.
The Cats.
We're going to beat UConn.
Go Big Blue.
I'm putting my name on it. Fuck you, first of all. I'm putting my name on it. We beat UConn by 10. We beat them by a cool dozen.
What's the spread on
Well, I'm sorry, that's 12. But by
Good enough.
we beat UConn by 10.
That's a University of Florida education right there.
It's not. I can't put that on University of Florida. I didn't go to Florida, but when we played UConn, we got beat. We had some key components out, and they barely squeaked out a win against us. We're going to come in with a vengeance. We're going to destroy UConn. I'm more worried about the winner of the Wisconsin-Kentucky game.
Hold on.
What?
I want to talk about how much I like Kevin Ollie. Kevin Ollie's
Okay.
a wonderful basketball coach. I don't know if UConn's going to win the game, but you got to realize this. Last year, UConn was on a postseason sanction.
Yeah.
They couldn't even qualify for the tournament. They couldn't even play in the Big East. They went through Villanova, which has been a rival of that program for years, even though they didn't get to play this year because some stupid fucking NCAA rule that doesn't make any sense at all.
Like the majority of the NCAA rules, yes.
They then went through Michigan State and in the Garden, and then who did they play? And then Baylor. Who was probably I don't know who they played in the Sweet 16. It doesn't matter. But Shabazz Napier and Eric Boakwright, those guys can play basketball. And Kevin Howley does a great job of just coaching those young kids up. And they've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the year. And Florida's a finely tuned fucking machine. And they will probably win that game. But shout out to UConn for getting to where they got. And if they do beat Florida, I would not be surprised in the least.
I'm not going to tell you, but it would surprise me.
You put your money on that.
What's the spread, bro?
Well, apparently it's 10.
Oh, hell yeah.
It is 10?
Florida by 10.
Said that without even looking at the spread.
Yeah. It opened at 7. Now it's 10.
Take the dog.
See, Joe, you haven't watched any Gator basketball this year.
No, I have. I love
No,
Florida.
you haven't.
No,
you haven't.
I think Patrick Young is going to get drafted.
Probably, but he won't get drafted about 5th or 6th. We don't have. That's what's amazing.
He won't get drafted until about 5th or 6th.
No, I'll put him at 3. We don't have anybody on this team, Joe. You realize nobody on our starting 5. It will go in the first round. You realize we don't have a number 1. And
Patrick Young's
we don't have a number 2. I don't or a second round. I don't think we have a second round draft pick.
I think Patrick Young's getting drafted. No,
I think Pat Young's getting drafted. I think Scotty Wilbekin's going to get drafted after the season he's had. But Scotty Wilbekin's going to go a little bit later, probably. But it's.
I like Patrick Young. I'm on the bandwagon.
Well, you've been and I appreciate that. You've been telling me that all year. Patrick Young is a.
He just needs the right coach. Look at what DeAndre Jordan has done under the right coach. That guy's turned into a rebounding machine. He had 24 rebounds yesterday a couple days ago against the Minnesota Timberwolves and Kevin Love. He out-rebounded Kevin Love in a game where Blake Griffin didn't even fucking play. 24 rebounds.
Chris Conrad just sent me this. Sorry, I'm laughing. He tweeted me. Apparently, Mike Trout actually didn't have a base hit tonight.
Mike Trout had 2 straight 0-for games. Everybody call it in.
I love that. He is the best baseball player in baseball, though. The guy's good.
By leagues, yeah.
And
Brad Miller, bro.
And stop it with your fucking Brad Miller. And that shit-eating grin that never leaves his face just drives me nuts too. You know,
Sam Bold.
I was gonna say
he's not even the best baseball player in the division.
Why do you need 5 tools when you just got 3 solid ones?
Anyways, going back, I just think the setup for the Final Four this year, regardless of how I feel about the seeding, regardless of how I feel about how this tournament should have gone. Arguably, it couldn't be a better 4 teams left. Seriously, you've got the number 1 team in the country, the 2 teams left that beat them early in the season, and the one rival, like their biggest rival in the tournament. Like it's you can't write this shit. It's ridiculous.
It is certainly interesting. You know what else I heard that was pretty? I don't know. Just. It made me interesting. The cheapest ticket that you can get for the Final Four, and this is at Cowboys Stadium that holds 100,000 people, so you're a mile and a half off the court. In like the 5th deck of Cowboys Stadium, tickets are running at $500.
Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
For the Final Four at Dallas, it's Dallas Stadium. Hey, Jerry Jones, he's struggling in life. He's got to make money somehow.
And you can't.
I'm sure of that.
You can't get these kids can't have a job, man. Patrick Young can't have a job, but you can have an average ticket price to the Final Four, one game at $2,500.
I was going to say, can you imagine what the field level is on that?
I think they said lower bowl tickets were running at $5,000.
Jesus
I don't know if
Christ.
that's
Courtside, that's got to be ridiculous.
Wow.
I don't know if that means that's $5,000 when you buy them, off the NCAA originally, or if that's $5Gs off StubHub. But that's a ton of fucking money, man. And these kids can't have a job. And that doesn't even touch on the TV money or the merchandise money or the video game money or the
the amount of money these kids generate for their schools is astronomical. I mean, it's incredible, actually.
It's through the roof. It's stupid.
And we've talked about it before. That these kids make this amount of money from their names for these schools, for these programs, and can't see a dime of it. And it's just it's gonna, at some point, it's got to bite them in the ass. I mean, hell, Northwestern, we talked about it a while ago.
Yeah, they're going to Congress.
They're going to Congress.
I don't know if they're going to win, but that labor union's going to Congress.
They just got approved to go union, for God's sakes. They just got approved, whether they will or not, and whatever happens with it. Hell, if they go union, Northwestern might fucking pull their program, for God's sakes. I mean, it's
I think that's what it's going to have to take is
a bunch of smart kids going union.
Well, no. Just a couple of these bigger schools going fuck you, we're going to do our own shit.
Yeah. If the SEC wanted to, the SEC could completely secede from the goddamn NCAA. They could, be like, we're the SEC, fuck you. We've got enough teams in the SEC. They could create, they technically could just go away and be like, fuck you.
And for
football and basketball.
Yeah.
It's and then eventually others would come with them. The NCAA is, they have way too much power.
They're operating like a mob right now.
They really and they have been for a while, and it's just and it's upsetting. It's fucking infuriating, and that's why I love Jay Billis, because Jay Billis despises the NCAA, and he every chance that he gets to speak out against him, he does. And it's what you got?
As I said, I don't know. This isn't a pick that I think Kentucky's going to win at all. But to kind of keep going on your rant there, the most respect of any of the NCAA coaches that I have currently is John Calipari, because
Did you just say that to me?
Yeah, I did.
You realize in a year he's going to get busted for violations as far as
I understand that.
He cheats at every fucking school he goes to, Joe.
It, but who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if he cheats and he breaks stupid fucking rules?
If you cheat and you're no good at it, then you suck.
What are you talking about? No good at it?
Because he cheats and he constantly gets busted.
Nate, stop for a second.
Joe, no, that's.
Stop for 1 second.
That's right, kids.
You have more respect for him than anybody in the Final Four.
And I tell you why.
Jesus Christ.
Billy Donovan's rad because he does it by the book, and he's probably to the T the best coach. But here's why I love John Calipari. When you coach at Kentucky, or what you would call a quote-unquote basketball school, your job is to prepare kids for the NBA. And since 2009 or whenever he got to Kentucky, and even before that at UMass,
those one and dones are ridiculous. You're right.
And Memphis, he gets kids, but not just one and done and drafted and into the league. But with the exception of DeMarcus Cousins, which is 1 in 20, you don't hear any bullshit from a kid that came from Kentucky. They go in
because they're getting
basketball.
Paid because he promised them all these incentives, Joe.
But that's not what I'm talking about. You're missing what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is there's no bullshit incidents of a Kentucky kid on Twitter fucking off, a Kentucky kid beating his wife, a Kentucky kid out at some strip club doing something stupid, making it rain. They get recruited to play basketball. They become good basketball players. They're becoming great basketball players. And, like, that's his job. And is he working in a corrupt system? And might he be more corrupt than the snakes above him? Probably. And is there something a little bit shitty about that? But, like, of course there is. But when you're rolling with the snakes, if you're the top snake, that's fucking rad. And more power to you. And beyond that, like, they had Willie Cauley-Smith, which was their only 2-year player on that team, out against Michigan in the Elite Eight, and they brought in that Lee kid who went like 16-10
killed it.
Out of the
Yeah.
blue that no one's ever had, and he was just fucking ready to go, and he got that team in the Final Four. So, like, fuck yeah, John Calipari, Big Blue.
Okay,
I'm with
relax,
it.
relax. You're settled. You're getting a little worked up.
No, but I'm with it. Like,
Joe,
what?
he drafts kids, and I'll give him that. He gets these kids that, if the rule wasn't there, would never go to college regardless. He gets them to come to his program for a year. He doesn't get them ready to play in the NBA. No, he does not. Those kids would already go. Like the one and dones that he drafts, the majority of them would not come to college. They would go straight to the NBA.
But
if
he
they
makes
had
them better
that,
men.
He makes them better men, Joe. He puts them on good teams. I'll give him that. No, Calipari puts together ridiculous teams year after year,
Nate,
year after year.
You watch the SEC more than me.
I do.
You're trying to tell me that those Harrison brothers and Julius Randle haven't gotten better from November to now? Like, that's fucking, like, no. Not just that, but none of those
I can't
kids,
say that. No,
none of the, hold on real quick. None of those kids that we're talking about, none of those one-and-done kids, with the exception of DeMarcus Cousins, how many, like, problems do you hear out of a Kentucky kid? You fucking don't. They go in. They're 19, 20-year-old kids that are professional athletes and they ball. Like when you look at the NFL or other sports, there's so many problems. Like, look at who was it that like Raymond Felton, the guy that just got popped with all the guns that just turned himself in after the games. Look at Ray Rice. Like, is he like you never hear any of that shit out of anybody from Kentucky.
You can't compare basketball players and football players. You can't.
Okay, fine. Stick to Raymond Felton. Stick to Raymond Felton and Gilbert Arenas. You never hear any of that shit from a Kentucky guy.
Fair enough. Okay, whatever.
Well, I say,
what do you say, Jared?
college student union player
Well,
fucking
run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Athletes should make a union. Actually, no, interestingly enough, last week, the U.S. government decided that football players at Northwestern University who get scholarship money are effectively school employees and can vote on organizing what could become the first labor union for U.S.
That's what I said. Yeah, they just got
athletes.
accepted to. They just got approved to unionize. That's it happened actually almost 2 weeks ago. But that being said, I get what you're saying about John Calipari. I've never said that he's a bad coach. I think he's a very good coach. I just hate the way he fucking goes about doing it.
Yeah,
and
I wish that he didn't have to do that.
Stop it!
You're right.
Stop it!
I
You love
wish
it.
he
You
didn't.
love it, Joe.
I think
Mike.
your boy DeMarcus Cousins is a step away from being a Gilbert Arenas or a Raymond Felton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. DeMarcus Cousins is the only one. And out of like 25, you're
Yeah, but
gonna
how
have
often do you
one.
hear about shit like that in the NBA? You don't that often. There's the very few cases that you hear about that actually happens to. All right, so to say that John Calipari has this influence over these kids and that they're outstanding individuals because of John Calipari, I don't buy it. The kids that spend time at Florida for a coach like Billy Donovan for two,
Billy
3, 4
Donovan's
years.
Cream of the crop.
That's
No, I get
that
it. Billy
I understand,
Donovan's cream of the crop.
but you
Like, I
cannot
get it.
convince me. Even trying not to be biased, trying not to look at John Calipari as the coach for Kentucky and the biggest giant piece of shit as far as his recruiting goes, and as far as the way he carries himself in interviews, the way it drives me crazy. Trying to look outside of that, there's no way you can ever convince me that he is the reason that these kids are successful. He recruits these one and dones, puts them on a team, and he's a good coach. He's a very effective coach, and he puts together a team. They make a run. If and when they get knocked out, the kids are like, thanks, coach. Fuck you. I'm going to the NBA and get paid. You know, like
I don't think it's fuck you. I think it's an understanding relationship.
I disagree.
I think we're talking apples and oranges. Because when you mention Kentucky and Florida, those are two top-tier teams.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a team full of degenerates that have problems, it's like a Fresno State, and they've been known for that shit. I mean, look what was going on at UNLV previously, too. That's a college that has some problems. You can't knock Calipari or Billy Donovan for what they're doing over there. You could say that there's some question marks.
It's just hard for me to think because
it's not completely tainted.
Somehow Calipari gets the quote unquote best recruiting class in NCAA history. When he's already been popped twice in 2 different schools for recruiting violations.
By the way,
so
he
you're
will
going to
get
tell
Calipari or the University or Kentucky?
It's Calipari. You're going to tell me that somehow after his track record, that getting the best recruiting class in NCAA history, he did it legitimately. I just don't buy it.
No.
I
I
don't buy
think
it
he's
at all.
gonna get popped again. Like, don't get him mistaken. I don't think that he's doing it.
No, it was Calipari. It wasn't. It was.
Is there
it's
no
all
mystique
Calipari.
with some of these kids that want to play for the University of Kentucky? Is there no valor behind it? I think some of these kids may want to be a Wildcat.
Well, I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. That's
think
possible.
so,
Whatever, that's
absolutely.
possible. But it is what it is.
dude,
Especially whenever their coach tells them that they'll get paid X amount of dollars. Then they're
bullshit though. There's like decades of history there. Look at Adolph Rupp. That's arguably one
and there's
of the
decades of history behind Calipari as well.
No, and don't get it mistaken. I fully expect him to get popped again. I just
But you like it and you're okay with it.
yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, there's that.
Like
I mean, I can't argue with something that he likes seeing fucking.
He likes Barry
coaches
Bonds. Of
cheat.
course he
I
loves
know.
cheating.
Like
I'm a
it's
Pete
ridiculous.
Carroll guy too.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to tell
Jesus
you how much
Christ.
I love Pete Carroll? We can
Oh,
have that
Jesus, here we
conversation.
go.
Any
about
way
it.
possible.
Even in the offseason,
Yeah,
this
dude.
guy's got a fucking stroke.
By any means necessary.
He's got glasses on, not a fucking halo.
Yeah, well, it's true.
What do you want me to tell you?
Said
what do you expect from
Calipari
this guy?
feels like Larry Brown.
You're so disappointed right now, Joyner. Jesus.
I'm
I'm reading this article.
It's a good thing we don't have cameras on us tonight. 'Cause,
I don't
my
even
disdain
know what
would
this
show
is.
through.
But there's an article that Jarrett pulled up that says Calipari feels like Larry Brown, and those are 2 of my favorite basketball coaches.
He feels like Larry
so I'm
Brown.
excited
How?
by this.
He says it's funny. You end up dressing like him, walking like him. Now I'm having my hips replaced him like.
Whoa, really?
Like
Is that-
talking
did he really
like
say
him.
that?
That's what he said.
Yeah. It's actually what this says. Who wrote this?
His
Who is
first
this?
college job was as an assistant for at Kansas for Brown from '83 to '85.
Wow, I had no idea. Did you know that?
No, I didn't
Cal
know
worked
that.
in Memphis for fucking Larry Brown.
And then after he got fired.
Or at Kansas, rather.
As
I was
the
saying, I knew he
NBA's
worked
New
at
Jer-
Memphis. He was the
as
Memphis head coach.
No,
for
at
guys.
Kansas.
And then he
Kansas, yeah.
briefly joined Brown's staff with the 76ers.
I did
Interesting.
not
I didn't know that. Either.
that.
Well, you learn some new shit.
That is
He says the
knowledge.
biggest thing is if you care about the kids and you truly care, you'll always have a job.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, right? Are you? Come on.
Hey, you want
Fucking
to
sack.
You want to talk about the
Jesus
Giants' comeback today? Actually, their comebacks. The
On
whole
that note,
series.
guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in.
Fuck you. We would be going to opening day tomorrow, except somebody didn't get tickets.
No,
So
'cause I can't. Somebody's fucking broke, and I couldn't afford that.
I have
shit.
to wait till May to dress up like a dog.
No, I'm still gonna dress you up. I'll
You're
make you
not-
wear a shirt. I'm not. I'm gonna make you get off light. I'm not gonna. I talked about a flag and a license plate on the back.
What a
and
nice
fucking-
guy.
I'm gonna let him get off
Give him
light.
a break.
Nate's bitching out on his bed. I don't
I'm
know
not bitching
about
out.
this. You're just
All
being
right,
a nice guy.
I'm just
Are
being
you
a nice
sure
guy.
you want to do that? Do you want to talk to your partner in crime?
He's in fucking New Orleans. Whatever. What he gets.
You guys are a waste. I'm trying to do this proper.
All right,
Valiant of you.
I'll go shopping. Anyways, guys, yes, Giants had a huge comeback today. Good work.
All week.
Good win.
Actually.
Yeah, had a couple comebacks.
Posey,
Had like
2-run
5
homer,
runs in the 8th inning.
9-8. Yeah,
I've been
dude.
telling Joe this all year, guys. I hope that the Giants. I really want the Giants to jump out hot, just to get. I want them to literally just get on fire, and he's got just he's every game 6 to midnight. He's just excited, and then around June.
No, actually,
June-ish, middle of June, beginning of July.
you guys.
Audience, you
They-
aren't seeing me. This Joe wants me to back him up on some.
They
Giants
take
love
the,
right now.
the giantest shit in baseball history, and
Actually, we
the
don't.
Dodgers overturned them.
Typically, last
a
year,
giant
last year they played bad in August, but
They're all
the
going to pinch off a
Dodgers-
bunch of Zetos.
The Dodgers went. The Dodgers went 42.
I love it.
The Dodgers went 42-8 through
Yeah.
the dog days last year,
Yeah.
and the Giants kind of packed it in. But in the past, the Giants always play. They have what's called the June swoon. And any real Giants fan will tell you about the June swoon. We suck dick in June.
Is that a ballet?
And then July, August, and September.
If that's a thing as a Giant fan, you guys, that's awful.
Google it. June.
The June
Joe
swoon.
darling. Let's do this June
Yeah.
swoon.
Hey,
Hold on,
baby.
I just want to apologize
just
to
sit
Google
back and,
for having to type
Here's the June swoon, baby.
I don't think I've ever heard anything that's worse for baseball.
Yeah, right?
No,
June
June.
swoon.
June swoon.
That's terrible. That's miserable. Who wants to endure that? God.
You type baseball because it's a real estate term, but same difference. No, like,
is it?
Baseball. I'm going to wrap this up soon.
Giants
guys.
have
What are we looking
something to
for?
Avoid another June swoon.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's so awful. On that note, we are going to wrap this up, guys.
you guys never heard of this?
No. But
No, all we do is win our respective divisions.
yeah.
That's all we do. There's no swooning going on.
Apparently, it's since the 70s.
We just
Oh,
make
there
sure
you
we
go.
demolish our opponents in April.
Yeah, right.
is happening now.
As an A's fan, the guy that hasn't won 10 home openers in a row.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to me about coming
yeah,
out
that's
hot in
right.
I
April.
said April, not April 1st.
Yeah. that's right.
April Fools doesn't count for A's fans.
Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning back in. We're going to wrap this up because we're just kind of talking out of our asses at this point. I guess that's pretty much what we do every week.
This is a mess.
Sam Fold.
Full.
Just Sam Fold.
If you listened, thanks again. We love you guys. Yeah, we're SuperiorFandom.com, the Nate and Joe Show. That's a clink of 2 beers in front of me.
I just want to say thank you to Sino Tequila.
Yeah, Sino, Judy, you guys support us immensely, and that's phenomenal.
I want to say thanks to Mike and Jarrett for putting up with our bullshit.
Oh, you little buttercup.
Making
Joe wants
it
a snuggle
possible.
right now.
Oh.
No, I don't.
He wants a
Hang on,
cuddle.
hang on. Keep the pillow talk for after.
Oh.
Stop.
Yeah.
I just want to think. You want to know who I want to thank? I want to thank.
Bye, everyone. Mic drop.